This is Fountain Street Church.
I find it hard to find the best ones, but somehow, like I said, you'll hear what I'm trying to say even when the words
Here, we strive to free the mind, grow the soul, and change the world. Here, there is freedom to doubt and freedom to believe. Here, you can find a house of prayer for all people.
The swallow up Jonah.
Welcome to Fountain Street Church. Join us on the journey.
Worship, what a curious word, but it comes from the word for worth and to shape it. What worth will you be shaping today? Your own, that of others, of course, but which one and how? That's what we don't know. We arrive every week looking for a way to shape the worth of the world and the worth of our lives. We come away hoping that we have found a little bit more of it. We come here filled with hope and leave with promise. So, rise in hope. Sing with hope. Live with promise. That is what it means to worship. And so rise. Rise up now and greet one another in the spirit of the day as we sing these songs that send us forth into the world with promise. Welcome.
You know, it's really not all about you. It really isn't. And yet it is at the same time. Church is not all about you, and yet it's your church, right? So what would it be without you? You've seen those signs, CH blank RCH. What's missing? You are. Yeah, well, I forgot to leave the R out, right? But church is about something so much bigger than our individual lives. We all come here with our own yearnings and giftedness. We all come here with our own woundedness and hopes. We all come here longing for something: community, redemption, salvation, inspiration, growth. But it's not all about us. It's about the mission. Hence the name Mission Possible of today's service. In the next couple of weeks, Fred will be exploring the mission of liberal religion, claiming that what it's really about is liberating, animating, and agitating us. You'll have to come each week for the next 3 weeks to hear more about those things. But the mission of this church, the mission of this place, is what it's really about. And that is our gift. And that is our invitation to figure out how to use our gifts in service of that larger mission that is bigger than any one of us, any one of our lives, any one of our desires for inclusion or comfort, for affirmation. Sometimes it is difficult to know what to do with our gifts, or to even see the gifts that we receive. I wonder, as I think about the theme of Epiphany and the image of Mary and Joseph sitting there with the baby Jesus and these 3 wise ones showing up and handing gold, frankincense, and myrrh, if it ever really happened, I wonder if Mary and Joseph did the nice family thing of saying, "Oh, thank you. How nice. What are we going to do with these?" I mean, the gold, sure, you know, that's pretty clear, but what are you going to do with frankincense and myrrh? Although frankincense, a balm for healing, and I'm sure Mary could have used that on her tired body. But myrrh, used for embalming, what did they do with those gifts? What did they think about when they got them? What was the larger mission that they were serving? And what was the mission that the 3 wise ones left with? How was that different than the one that they came with? What mission are you on, and how are the gifts that you have going to make that possible? The lectionary readings, a reminder that each week we post readings from the Christian lectionary, the Jewish lectionary, and from the Quran. The lectionary readings for this week contain within them scenarios of Joseph dying and blessing and releasing his brothers, of Jacob dying and blessing Joseph's sons, though in a familiar inversion of the eldest getting the second blessing instead of the youngest, of King David dying and blessing and instructing his son, of Jesus being baptized by John, who was clearly on a mission, and of Paul baptizing in the name of Jesus. Each of these speaking of blessing and being on some sort of mission. And then the Quran section is all about the spoils of war. Where does that fit in there? Well, as much as I struggle with the idea of war, it has specific instructions about how to treat the captives, how to divide what you have gained by conquering, and how much of that needs to go back to the community. It challenges me and challenges us to think about the responsibility that we have to deal with the mess that we create when we engage in warfare, and the gifts, the dark, challenging gifts of that time. Indeed, in commentary from the Quran, I was brought to the attention that when Allah spoke of speaking humankind, the angels warned him. Said, no, don't do that. Why are you going to do that? Because humanity is going to bring bloodshed and mischief. And yet somehow, for some reason, it happened anyway. It is all about something bigger, some mission larger than ourselves, some story we can only see the vague outlines of, that we are asked to give ourselves and our lives and our gifts in service of that. And we are asked to do it without even fully knowing that it will be done, without even fully knowing what the finished picture will look like. We are asked, what will you do with your gifts? Choose to bless the world. Congregational consultant Dan Hotchkiss of the Alban Institute has written many texts, and one of them has been used by our governing board called Governance and Ministry. He's describing how governing works and ministry works. And in another of his texts, he asks, who is the owner of the congregation? Well, I already told you that, right? So who owns the congregation? No, mission. Mission. Maybe I didn't tell you that. Let's try it again. Who owns the congregation? Maybe you don't believe me, so don't answer that one. Okay. He claims, and I believe it's true, that mission owns the congregation, and it's to that we give our gifts. He says, mission, not members, own the congregation. Members are responsible for it, obviously, and invest in it. Not the board, not the clergy, not the staff. All of them and all of us are fiduciaries whose duty it is to serve the owner. Symbolically, he says, we might say God is the owner, but God's whole will is too big to guide one congregation.